Hi, this is Dr. Aruna, Assistant Professor, Department of English, KCS Kasinadar College of Arts and Science. Now we are going to analyze what is slang. Slang is words or phrases that are informal language and it is typically seen used in speech more often than writing. It can be specific to a particular group of people or context, therefore, the meanings of the words may not be apparent to all people. Slang consists of words that are non-standard in a given language and is generally spoken to show inclusion in a certain social group. Social groups can be very small, from just a few friends to very large. Example, millions of people who frequent a website. Slang is usually considered informal and thus is in speech but not in writing. The usage of slang often implies a certain familiarity between those who use it together and may show certain attitudes on the part of the speaker. The etymology of the word slang is uncertain. It was first used in the mid 1700s, and at that time the definition of slang referred to the specific vocabulary of lower class or disreputable people. As time went on, slang no longer referred to language spoken by disreputable people, but certainly it meant something cruder than formally educated speech. Some theorists have said that slang has the same origin as the word sling, meaning to throw around. There are thousands of words in English alone that are example of slang. These words come in and out of popularity. Generally, slang words are created in a spontaneous manner within a social group. When they begin to be adopted outside of that social group, they are often dropped in favor of new words. There are plenty of examples of slang from the rise of the internet and subsequent rise of social media. In literature, authors generally use slang in their works of literature to show that the narrative belongs to a certain time and place. Slang is most often found in dialogue. As characters reveal the social group they feel they belong to. Narrators also sometimes use slang when they function as a character in the story. Some slang words are also so embedded in a culture that authors might use them to mean something which is obvious at the time of writing but which must be interpreted by readers later on. William Shakespeare was noted both for his use of slang examples from his day and also for creating new slang terms. In this short excerpt from Henry IV Part 1, the characters of Falstaff and Prince Henry trade rounds of insults. Talking about the examples of slang, the term lit refers to something that is amazing. For example, did you see her new car? It was lit. The phrase on fleek refers to something that has reached perfection. My hair was on fleek this morning. The term crib refers to someone's living quarters, such as a home or apartment. Hey, you want to spend time with my friends and me at my crib. Slang allows for the creative changing of language by people. While some slang terms will eventually fade out of use, it allows for the people of a generation to create a unique way of communicating with one another. It should be noted that slang is more appropriately used in verbal or informal conversation. Therefore, in literature, slang is used sparingly and is typically reserved for dialogue in order to show a character's subculture or personality. It may be used in literature in order to establish the setting or personality of characters involved in the story. Some slang words have made it into the dictionary. Words like bling bling, gravy and fat have made it into the dictionary. In fact, street slangs become so popular that there is more than 20 cool words in the latest edition of the Longman Dictionary of Contemporary English. Students sometimes compile a list of their own slang with definitions. In 1892, Walt Whitman described slang as the start of fancy, imagination, and humor, breathing into its nostrils the breath of life. In the century plus since Whitman's lyrical characterization, the America that Whitman knew has been radically transformed by immigration, industrialization, urbanization, and mass communication. Because of these changes and for the reasons suggested by Whitman, slang with its breath of life has permeated everyday speech. Slang is to a large extent ephemeral, and so to survive, it must constantly regenerate. Both the ephemeral and regenerative traits are nowhere more apparent than in the slang of American youth. Slang pervades American speech to a startling degree. Its popularity can be gauged by the rush of journalists, politicians, to embrace the latest word or phrase to spice up a newspaper headline, advertisement, or television script. Slang's primary reason for being to establish a sense of commonality among its speakers further ensures its widespread use. When slang is used, there is a subtext to the primary message. That subtext speaks to the speakers and listeners' membership in the same tribe. Because tribe identity is so important, slang is a powerful and graphic manifestation of that identity's benefits. The four factors that are the most likely to produce slang are youth, oppression, sports, and vice, which provide an impetus to coin the use slang for different socio-linguistic reasons. This is all about slang. Thank you.